go ahead and get settled into your chairs or your couch, or if you're laying down on the floor, bed, wherever you are, get settled in, and I invite you to begin feeling the support of being held. And this support can be seen as being held in the arms of the angels or arms of God. So allow yourself to receive this support and feel it. And I invite you to focus on your breath. And as you breathe in energy from deep within the earth. And as you breathe out anything, any nervousness, any tension, anything that feels stuck, just let it go. Breathing in the light of the mother. Breathing out peace. Breathing in the light of God and the energy of the mother. Breathing out peace. Breathing in light. Breathing out peace. And allow this natural rhythm to continue to flow. And just sit there for just a moment and allow this energy flow to begin moving through your body, and definitely connecting to the earth, since we are celebrating spring, where we are really, really rooted and connected into the mother. And then as we move through our meditation, we are going to go on a labyrinth walk of your inner landscape of your heart and your soul. So I invite you to imagine yourself beginning to walk in perhaps a spiral or a circle, for those of you who may not have walked a labyrinth. Just begin to settle down and just focus on where your feet are going within your body. Your mind may be having thoughts, and that's perfectly okay. Let the thoughts just move by and let them roll away on a wave, or send them off on a cloud, and let them know this is your time in your sacred space, and they can come back later if they choose, but now is your time for this moment of silence, and this time to go within. And as you wander around, moving from your mind, you might notice that you might be entering into your heart space. And as you move further into your heart, look for light, places where the light might be shining, and look for places that the light needs to shine upon. For we're in a time of balancing light and dark, night and day, thoughts and silence. And so just allow yourself to spiral inside. What's percolating and what's bubbling up? What seeds are starting to grow inside? And are you encountering any weeds? So you can recognize it and know that it's divinely where it needs to be, or you may choose to pluck it and move it aside so that the light can come through. Just allow yourself to move into this space. And the more that you focus on the light and the places within, you may notice that your mind begins to settle. The thoughts may not be as rampant. You might notice some calmness in your body. And you might be now approaching, maybe in your heart space, or maybe even lower in the area just below your navel, where your life force is. And you can see that as like perhaps the center of a labyrinth. So you're still walking and spiraling around. The sight's on the center. Your body relaxes and your mind prepares to enter into this sacred, holy space within you. This would be the center of your inner labyrinth. And this is a place for you to relax, to rest, to receive. You may want to ask an intention, or maybe ask Creator a question. Something that you may want to receive some guidance on, or maybe some inspiration or vision for what you want to manifest and create in these next 6 months. Since we are in this time of spring, whatever we plant now, we will be harvesting in the fall. So I just invite you to go for a few moments into the silence. As you are in this silent space, you are being nourished, you're being fed from Creator that is all around us, outside of us. And you are also connecting and being nourished and fed by the Creator, the God that dwells within you. And you are also being fed and nourished by Mother Earth. Just allow yourself to feel this loving energy and presence filling you up inside and out. Continue to focus on your breath and your breathing. It can be very soft and gentle in your normal pace, but be aware of your breath. And when you're ready, you can get up, filled with light and inspiration. And you begin to step out of the center, and you begin to spiral back out, coming in the same direction that you entered into your heart space, or into your sacred holy space. You begin to spiral out and expand your heart, your sacred space. What kind of blessings and gratitudes can you give to the other parts of your body on your way out? And what blessings and gratitude can you send out into the world as you are connected to the oneness of all on this walk? Allow yourself to feel the joy and the celebration of this time that you've had to explore your inner landscape and to receive any wisdom or guidance that you've received. Continue to just spiral your way back up out of your heart center, back into your mind, back into presence. Before fully leaving your inner labyrinth, bow and namaste. And once again, notice the weight of the chair supporting you. Make sure you're fully here, fully grounded. Namaste. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, move your head, everything. Make sure you're fully grounded back in. So good morning. Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
Welcome. It feels good to be back after being here last month.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of like part 2 of where we started last month, since we were talking about the labyrinth. So this is going to kind of expand on that a little bit. And we are still in that season of renewal and grace, and it continues for another 4 weeks. So I feel that this is like the halfway point between now and Easter. And so it just is appropriate day to have the labyrinth here and to talk in the metaphor, because with spring, we have a time where we have a balance of night and day, light and dark. And when we work with the labyrinth, we also have an opportunity to balance the energy in our mind, because when we walk on the labyrinth, we actually help balance out the left and the right brain. And so it's a time to give a little bit of space, because sometimes we can be in one or the other. I know I have moments where sometimes I'm more inside my logical mind and my left brain, and then there are other times I'm more creative and into my artist side and don't want to be in that one. So I use tools to help bring them into balance. And so we are also in a time of rebirth. And when we were here last time, we were working on the releases and affirmations to work through to help renew our minds as we prepare for Easter and the renewal of the Christ consciousness within. And so, so we are still working with those, and we still have another 4 weeks. And so changing our mindset is always a process. It's not something that's over and done in one night or in one season. It's something that we continually do over and over again. And that's the beauty of the seasons that we are in and walking the labyrinth, is that you may have the same tool and you might even have similar experiences, but each one is completely different than the one before. And so today we're focusing on renewal. And towards the end of my talk, I will also instruct how to walk a labyrinth for those of you who may not have ever walked one before. We have 2 out here in the parking lot for those that are here local. And if you are joining us virtually, there are labyrinths online that you can walk virtually with your finger or with the mouse. And there are even apps that you can use on your phone. So there are different ways to do a labyrinth walk. A little hard to do the virtual one from where we are without putting a GoPro camera on my head and walking through. But you might do that next time. So the guided visualization that we just had for meditation was actually the process, the 3-step process of walking a labyrinth is what we did during the guided visualization. You can go to the next slide. Yeah. So we come here on this magical day because we are in the last bit of energy of the full moon that we had a couple of days ago. And today is the first day of spring. And yes. And you can see things are starting to bloom. And I love this because when I got this, some of them hadn't even popped open, and they're not even fully open, which is another beautiful metaphor that we have going on, because everything doesn't bloom all at once. Spring's here, but it's still in process, just as we are all in process in our evolution and our spiritual growth. And so, and each one will fold down unfold in its own divine time. And Creator will let us know when that is. So with the energies of this full moon and spring, it is a great time for creating vision, because we're like in another new year cycle by entering into spring, which is going forward, and the winter is completely done. And so this is like a new year when we have the spring in some ways. So this is a great time if you haven't gotten to creating a vision board or a future board or anything for manifesting. While you have all of this heightened energy and consciousness, use the magic of the energies that we have from the universe is providing us to dream new dreams and plant new seeds that you want to grow, that you will harvest later in the fall. And then, of course, we have been celebrating the return of light, but now that we've also had our time change, we have even more light.
Yes, thank
And
God.
so, and at spring, we do have that balance of equal time for daylight and darkness. And so, and this is also the halfway point until summer when we have the most light. So there is so much right here coming in to help us along our journey and to help bring light on what needs to be released, what needs to be transformed. Just making sure I'm not skipping anything here. So as we are physically working on our landscapes, we can mentally and energetically clear out our inner landscapes. Anything that you might be hiding behind, anything that makes you feel small, anything that makes you feel like you're not fully sharing who you are in this world. I have a friend who says, "What's keeping you from sparkling shamelessly?" So
I like that.
those weeds could be what's keeping you behind and holding you behind from sparkling shamelessly and sharing your gifts out into the world. So this is a good time to look at the veils that you might be hiding behind, and time to give a tug at them, or maybe just loosen up, and then later on just like, oh, let them out. Or some of us might just be doing that right now, and that's okay too, as we spring forth. Also, making sure to look at the things that block our hearts. Our hearts can always be open. They can't be broken. We can feel in our hearts something that's not in alignment, but just because we feel that doesn't mean it's broken. Your heart can't break. It's always open, and it is good to have protection for it, but it's also good to also have it wide open to unconditionally love from a healthy way, in a healthy point. And so that's why I wanted us to focus on our heart space today, to get that open, because I know how hard it is to keep it open, because things happen when you're like this.
Mm-hmm.
And springtime is a good time to do that. Walking the labyrinth is a good time to do that. And when we open our heart, it allows us to literally receive. And we can also have this stance. And and even yoga, we pull in the energy so that we can receive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we have the open heart, that's what happens. It's hard to receive when you're doing this. Last time I was here, we used a triple spiral as the labyrinth process, and we were focusing on retreat, return, release. And it was just kind of going around, and there was a place to also reflect. Today we are going to a more traditional form of the labyrinth. And these are the labyrinths that we've had here before. You could go to the next slide. Yeah. So this is the one that we worked with last month. This is the more traditional one. This is the pathway of the labyrinths that are out here in the parking lot. And so it's a one path, and then you go in, and then you're going to go all the way around, and then you go to the center, and then you go from the center, you go all the way back out, and you're going to come back out from the same place you came in. And so I wanted to use the same tool and metaphor for release, which is what we did during meditation, letting go, coming to center, to realign, to reflect, to receive, and then our way out, we rejoice from all that we received. And we also, when we rejoice, we also share, and we expand out what was given to us, and we share that with the collective, and we can share that with our loved ones as well. Share however it needs to be shared. So that's kind of, I just wanted to have another way to use the same tool, and to let you know that there are different tools that look differently, but they're all the same process, they're all the same metaphor, they're all, it's all part of the death, rebirth, birth cycle that is just part of our life. It never ends. And that even happens every day. We wake up in the morning, we have our day, we go to bed. It's the same thing. When we go to bed, that's like a little mini death. We go into the void, we go into the night, and then we go to the dark. And that's where we are nourished, and then we are inspired. Then we wake up to the sun, and we start our day. And then we go through our day, and then we have our activities, and hopefully find time to reflect and to receive, and then head into the end of the day, and then share what we have done, or sharing out throughout the whole day. When I was in Medicine Wheel community, we were always on the wheel at any time of the day, at any point, all over it. So it's just kind of like almost being on the clock, just going around. And it's just another way for us to become conscious of what our experience is during the day and what's happening. Where are you? Are you receiving? Are you releasing? Are you rejoicing? And if you're not, you can take a moment and to reflect on that, and maybe recenter and reground to realign if something doesn't feel in alignment. Or you might just be having one of these days, you're just in that receiving and that rejoicing mode all day, and that's fine too. Absolutely fine.
Are those labyrinths on the left?
Yes, this is a labyrinth on this one. Yeah, that's a labyrinth, the triple spiral. This one is easier if you walk it on the actual line, the red there, it will go.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, you can also walk it through the white space. It's a little bit more difficult to do. I had detailed slides on this last time. They had errors showing how that went, but yes, that is a type of labyrinth. And this is a Celtic one. This one is found in the Celtic area over in Europe. You will find those associated with Irish and other Celtic regions in there. So
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so labyrinths come in many different shapes and forms, and they have one path in and one path out. That one, this one is more of a workout for your logic brain, because it is a little more than just following your feet and moving around, but it is a labyrinth.
Yeah.
All right, we can go to your next slide.
Oh, wow.
So as you have been working on your inner landscape since we last spoke, has anybody noticed anything coming up? You don't have to share. It's just a question to prompt you. Is there anything different that's been coming up since you've been working with the denials and the affirmations? Again, because we have virtual, you can answer yourself. You can answer me silently, or you can answer aloud. And how has it felt for you to take on a new spiritual practice during the time of Lent? I know sometimes people give things up, but I find that it's more of a rich experience to take on something new during this time, because it will do the same thing. It will bring to surface something that you might not need to have carried around with you any longer. It's just another way to go about doing that. So as we prepare to actually walk the labyrinth, if you so choose, some things that you can notice or be aware of as you're looking to contemplate. What are the sprouts? What are the things that are growing that you planted in the fall, or maybe if it was a winter bulb that's starting to pop out? What are your weeds? How are your relationships doing since you started your spiritual practice? Or how are your relationships doing, and how do you want to grow them? And how do you want to nurture them? How do you want to give them love, and how do you want to give them light? And what are the dreams? Are there dreams that came and went because that really wasn't what you needed at that time? Or are you wanting to have new dreams? Time to create them and bring them into consciousness, to bring them out. Any new visions? These are all things that you can receive guidance on when walking the labyrinth. And also during this heightened time of energy that we have right now, you can clearly ask for it and you will get it. Insights, what are your blessings? It's so easy to forget what our blessings are. We see the world around us and we see a certain image of ourselves, like maybe if you're looking in a mirror, you see one thing and you see like what that current moment is, but you don't always see the ripple effects of all the blessings and all the lives that you touched. You can't see that in the mirror, but you can be aware of that and you can feel that ripple effect. So what are your blessings? And this is a really good time to reflect back of all of the beautiful things that you've created in your life. You might find that it's way more than you might give yourself credit for. And what blessings can you share with others? And also, are you open to receiving your blessings? Are they at a trickle, or do you need to turn up the hose and make it full blast, wide open? I love that analogy. I have a tendency to turn it off and on to a drip, and I'm ready to bring it wide open. And of course, inner peace. If we want peace in our world, we need to start with ourselves. We need to find that place of inner peace. And when we know it and we really feel it, then that ripples out into the world. And then we send that out to everyone, whether they are aware of you're sending it or not. We can send it with the intention that it will go where it needs to go, and to those that will receive it and they'll want to receive it. And those that don't want to receive it will be a part of the ripple effect of everyone sending out the love and the peace that there is. And I said this last time, when we want to be peace, it is good to pray for peace, but we have to be peace, which means we have to have that inside. We need to challenge our fears, and when we want to lash out at someone, choose to not do that, but to really, really be that peaceful energy. Feel what peace feels like, what it smells like, what it tastes like, every single thing about it. You know, it's kind of like a multifaceted jewel, and each jewel facet makes the whole thing with the energy and the feeling of peace. look at every single piece of that that's turning around and be that. When we be that and when we be love, it goes out into the world. Forgiveness is one thing that I wanted to make sure that we hit on, because forgiveness is the foundation for love. Love is built upon that foundation. Forgiveness can be at times overwhelming if we don't regularly use that as part of our self-maintenance and weeding out or clearing the energy. And forgiveness is another one of those things that it starts inside us, and then it ripples out into to others. And it's something that I like to do just as frequently as I brush my teeth. And that often, it's another way to keep those walls from building over our hearts. And it can be very simple as doing a Buddhist meditation, the loving kindness samhita, because you are able to do several rounds on that, where you pray for someone else, someone that you don't know, someone that you love, someone that you have discord with, and then you also pray for yourself. And so that is a great way and a great container to work the forgiveness work in. Also, the Hawaiian Ho'oponopono is really, really great because it's an easy mantra to remember. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I like to start that out with myself. Then I take this to whoever the other person is. And then I bring it back to myself. And I just find that that's a really, really good practice and a very easy way to do it, that you don't get hooked into and attached to whatever was the trigger, to just focus on that release and letting go. And that helps bring balance into your day and into your heart. Also, using the Serenity Prayer or the Lord's Prayer is a great way also for working the forgiveness work. Very, very simple things to do. And I also find that it's really, really easy way to do forgiveness work on letting it go in the labyrinth. You can surrender it there, and then it gets energized by the earth, by the sun, by Creator, and it transforms it. Creator doesn't know what we attach to it. Creator just knows energy. And so you can just let it go, and then that will lighten up, bring some balance and alignment into your heart. And there are gentle, easy ways to do it. And of course, when forgiving others, it gives not only yourself grace, but it gives grace to someone who probably is hurting and really needs it. And it can be done distantly. You don't have to go out to lunch with them. You don't have to, do anything. You can do this energetically, and you can do it from a distance, and they will feel it. And you will feel that too. I also kind of see that as like just as necessary as washing your hair. You can even do it while washing your hair or your hands. I mean, it's that simple. Just prevents us from becoming heavy and dense. All right, we can go to the next slide. As we get ready to bring the talk to a close and we get ready to head out to extended time on the labyrinth, just a reminder, a couple of things. What seeds of manifestation do you want to plant in the next 6 to 12 months? What do you want to experience more of? What do you want to experience more joy of? Do you have any goals that you want to set? or do you just want to be with lots of pretty flowers or be at the beach? Just dream it up. And then on to the next slide. And this is explanation on the way to walk a labyrinth, and you can use these processes even if you don't have a labyrinth. You're going to start and you're going to walk in, and it's going to take you all the way around the center before you actually get into the center, and it can trick you because you think when you get right here, oh, I'm getting ready to go in the center, but it's going to take you out and around, and then you're going to eventually come in here, and in the center, that's where you can reflect and you can pause, you can think, and then once you've had your time in the center of the labyrinth, then you come back out and you walk the same path that you walked in, and you're going to go all the way out, and you will come out the same place that you started. And so that's the 3 steps.
What are the words on the arrows?
This one is enter and exit, and this one is release and
Rebirth, right?
yeah, rebirth.
What?
Released and rebirth.
Rebirth.
Yes, and then here is enter and exit.
And reflects in the middle. So it's
Yeah.
release, reflect, rebirth.
Rebirth.
Yeah, pause, reflect, and receive. I know there's a little bit of a glare, maybe.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't. Yeah, I can't see the
Print.
Right.
on the
Yeah,
red
those
there.
might be good in white, the letters.
Oh,
for
okay.
Future reference.
All right. I wasn't sure. It looked great on my large
no, we
computer
did.
monitor.
That's gonna pan out.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right. I did bring some little baggies that are in the lobby. These each have a sunflower seed, and Andrea did mention these, so that you can start your spring planting. And these are also to also give support to Ukraine. And again, there are labyrinth books that I am ready to release and share that information with other people. And so they're here. And then if you are interested in getting one, if you're joining us virtually, you can send me an email at pamela@pamelamann.com. That's PAMELA at PAMELAAMANN.com. Or you can find me on Facebook and send me a messenger or contact me that way. And I would be more than happy to release those to you. And then also I have come to a place where I am ready to sell both of these canvases that are here today so that they continue to bless others. I can always make more. And I want to share them. And so if there's anybody who is interested or knows of a center that could benefit from the use of the labyrinth, please have them get in touch with me, and I would love to share about that with them.
They could probably also email info@uofva.org,
Yes.
our center.
Mm-hmm. All right. So once we finish the service, please join us out in the parking lot to walk one or both of the labyrinths. They are both out there and available. And I thank you for listening today, and